It always starts the same. She smiles less. She talks less. Her phone lights up more, but not for you. And one day, when you least expect it, she's gone. No warning, no fight, no tears, just gone. This is the silent epidemic breaking families across the world. Not infidelity, not abuse, but wives quietly walking away, emotionally, then physically, and no one sees it coming. Most men think divorce happens in a single moment, a fight, a betrayal, a breaking point. But that's not how it works. That's a Hollywood fantasy, a dramatic climax designed for the screen. The reality is far quieter, far more subtle, and infinitely more heartbreaking. Long before a woman leaves physically, she's already gone emotionally. She disconnects quietly, slowly, invisibly. To the outside world, everything looks fine. She still cooks. She still smiles at the kids. She might even still share a bed with you, but the light in her eyes, gone. That spark you fell in love with has been extinguished, not by a sudden gust of wind, but by a slow, creeping dampness that seeps into the very foundation of the relationship. This emotional departure begins with small disappointments she never speaks about. It's not about grand betrayals. It's about the accumulation of 1,000 tiny paper cuts to her soul. It's the moments when she reached for understanding, but was met with cold, hard logic. When she bared her vulnerability, hoping for comfort, but instead received a lecture or a correction on how she should feel. It's every time she needed your presence, your undivided attention for just a few minutes, but all she got was the back of your head as you stared at a screen distracted by a game, an email, or the endless scroll of social media. Each one of these moments, on its own, seems insignificant, a minor oversight, a simple misunderstanding, but they add up. They become a pattern, a painful narrative that whispers to her, day after day, you don't matter enough. Every single time she feels unheard, unseen, unappreciated, another thread breaks. Think of the relationship as a massive, intricate rope woven from thousands of individual strands of connection, trust, and shared intimacy. Each time you dismiss her feelings, forget a promise, or failed to notice her efforts, one of those delicate strands snaps. It makes no sound. It leaves no visible mark. You don't even notice it's gone. But she does. She feels the growing slack, the loss of tension that once held you both together. She keeps pulling her end, trying to keep the connection taut, but she's fighting a losing battle. And one day, after countless threads have broken, there's nothing left to hold on to. The rope frays completely, and the connection is severed. Not with a dramatic snap, but with a quiet, final unraveling. By the time she's packing her bags, folding her clothes into a suitcase, and making arrangements for a new life, she's already been gone for years. You just didn't see it. This is the part that leaves so many men completely blindsided. They see the physical act of her leaving as the start of the problem, when in reality, it's the final, irreversible conclusion to a story they weren't even paying attention to. You didn't see it because she didn't scream. She didn't threaten divorce every other week. She didn't throw plates against the wall. She just stopped trying. The silence is the most deceptive part. She stopped arguing not because she's at peace with you, but because she's given up on being heard. Arguing, as frustrating as it is a sign of engagement. It's a sign that she still believes there's something worth fighting for, that a resolution is possible. When the arguments cease, it's not a victory, it's a surrender. She stopped asking for what she needs, not because she suddenly became self-sufficient and no longer requires support, but because she's tired of begging for the bare minimum. She's tired of feeling like a charity case in her own home, pleading for attention, affection, and partnership. She stopped sharing her dreams with you, not because she stopped dreaming, but because she realized no one's listening. The person who was supposed to be her biggest cheerleader became a silent, indifferent audience, and so she took her dreams elsewhere, into the private sanctuary of her own mind. That's the epidemic. Wives who give everything until they feel nothing. They are the emotional bedrock of the family, the keepers of schedules, the managers of feelings, the tireless engines of domestic life. They give and give and give, fueled by the hope that one day their efforts will be seen, their sacrifices will be valued, their love will be returned in equal measure. But when that day never comes, the well runs dry. They don't explode, they fade. They become ghosts in their own homes, moving through the motions of a life that no longer feels like their own. And when they finally leave, men are left shocked, confused, utterly devastated, asking, "Where did this come from?" The answer is, it came from everywhere. It came from the silence. It came from the neglect. It came from the 1,000 moments of invisibility. It's not about one fight. It's about accumulation. 1,000 tiny moments where she felt invisible. 1,000 instances of being talked over, of having her concerns minimized as overreacting, of her emotional needs being treated as an inconvenience. And while this slow erosion is happening at home, the outside world is getting louder. Society tells her, "You deserve happiness. You deserve more." She starts following self-love pages, listening to empowerment coaches, and tuning in to Find Yourself Again podcasts. These voices aren't malicious invaders. They are simply validating a truth that has been growing in her heart for years. They whisper one powerful, seductive message: you've outgrown him. Now, mix that potent cocktail of internal dissatisfaction with the hyper-connected world of social media. It's a constant, glittering parade of comparison, validation, and attention. She sees friends from high school getting divorced, and then posting photos of their new, authentic life, looking happier and more vibrant than ever. She gets a friend request from an old flame, or a kind message from a stranger. A tiny spark of external validation that feels like a bonfire compared to the cold embers at home. And suddenly, being single doesn't look scary anymore. It doesn't look like failure. It looks liberating. It looks like a second chance at the life she feels she's been denied. The world fuels her dissatisfaction. It provides a narrative, a community, and a perceived escape route. And without even realizing it, she starts rewriting her identity, one where she is the main character of her story, not just a supporting role in someone else's, an identity that doesn't include you. She starts imagining a future that is hers, and hers alone. A quiet apartment, a new hobby, a life defined by her own choices, not by the needs and wants of a partner who stopped seeing her long ago. This mental and emotional rehearsal is the final stage before the physical departure. She is already living in the future, and you are a ghost from her past. You can't stop the world. You can't shut down social media or silence the empowerment coaches. You can't build a wall around your marriage to keep out the influences of modern life, but you can stop the silence. You can choose to be the one voice that cuts through the noise, the one presence that makes her feel more seen and more valued than any online community or self-help guru ever could. The antidote to this silent epidemic is not grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's consistent, conscious connection. Connection is oxygen once it's gone. Love suffocates. It dies a slow, quiet death from lack of air. And if you're really lucky enough to have a woman still there beside you, a woman who still argues with you, who still asks things of you, who still tries, make her feel seen before she starts disappearing. Put down your phone. Look her in the eyes when she talks. Ask her about her day, and then actually listen to the answer. Hear the words she says, and listen for the feelings she doesn't. Acknowledge her efforts. Thank her. Let her know that you see her, that she matters, that you are still in this with her. Because when she walks away, it's already too late. Once that final thread has snapped, and she has emotionally and mentally moved on, there is very little that can be done to bring her back. The man she leaves is often a better man than the one she tried to stay with, because her departure finally wakes him up. But by then, the ship has already sailed. She is not coming back to see if you've finally learned how to be a partner. She has already grieved the end of the marriage while she was still in it. Her tears were shed in silence, in the shower, or into her pillow at night. By the time she leaves, she has no more tears left to cry. This isn't a war between men and women. It's not about blame or pointing fingers. It's a wake-up call, a call to see the quiet signs before they turn into goodbye. It's a call for men to understand that a relationship doesn't run on autopilot, and that a woman's love is not an unconditional resource to be endlessly drawn from without replenishment. It's a call for everyone to recognize that the health of a relationship is measured not in the loud arguments, but in the quiet, everyday moments of connection. Because sometimes, the loudest heartbreak is the one that never makes a sound.